We came out of there, my teacher, and about half a dozen of us, and the siren went. I can just remember us running along, because you never knew whether the planes were coming over, how many were coming, where the bombs were going to be dropped. It's quite scary.
Well, we were surrounded by bombs.
But the actual night of the Blitz, of course, my mother and father shoved me and my brother into our Morrison shelter, and there we stayed and slept all night. But where you could hear all the bombing going on.
You could hear the place going, woo, woo, woo. As if all the drone of the engines all going over the German bombers, you know.
You've got these stories, and you've got this whole catalogue of people telling you stories. You've then got to turn that into something that people will come and watch. What's that process? Do you take it verbatim? Because you used the word verbatim earlier on, but...
Yes, all the text is from transcripts of the interviews.
But if the person telling the story comes to see the play, they see somebody else...
Yes.
Which happened last night, actually. We had a large number of them come and watch it last night, which was a rather weird experience for them and for the actors and for all of us, I think, for having
really
worked with the
emotional experience. It was. I think in the last, when everyone was clapping and the actors were clapping the audience and the audience were clapping the actors, and it was a really, really beautiful exchange of kind of respect for, thank you for giving your stories, and they were so pleased to see them being told. And
okay, you've got a little extract.
Yes, we do.
Now, I can help you with this, can't I? Because you use a piece of music in the production. We don't want to give too much away, but tell me about this.
This is an extract from an interview with Vera Jex, who lives in Kingsbridge. Maybe listening. She was 25 in 1942. So she has lots of wonderful stories. We don't want to give away the big ones in Act 2, but this is one from towards the beginning.
This is
a
little taster then.
Little taster.
Okay. Yeah. And would it help if I went like this?
Lovely. I'm right there. Of course, my husband was abroad, He was on a lot of ships during the war. I was working in Marks and Spencer's. He wasn't on the Exeter then, and he went on one called the Bonnyventure. And I was in Marks and Spencer's. I was always on the dresses. I was head of dresses, 5 shillings each they were then for a dress. And anyway, I was there, working one day, and somebody'd come in who knew me. And they'd said, "Hello, V." And I said, "Hello, love." So she just looked at me. She said, "You were married to Sam, weren't you?" I said, yeah, I said, "I am now." She said, "Oh," she said, "only," she said, I've been listening to the radio." "Oh, yes," I said, not thinking about anything. And she said, "Oh," she said, "I'm only coming to tell you that the Bonnyventure is sunk and nearly everybody's drowned." And of course, my husband was on there. Anyway, the manageress come down. She say, "This lady fancied coming in," she said, telling her that. "Look at her," she said, "she's faint and all." And anyway, I was ever so bad after. And when I come to, and I thought myself, oh my God, I ain't been married very long and he's gone already. Anyway, after a few days, we heard from a proper, from the naval people. And you had a nice thing just to tell you that the Bonnyventure was sunk with so many downed, so many killed on there, the sailors. But your husband, and I remember that ever so much, because when the man come to tell me, he said, your husband, Vera, he said, was in the water, and another ship had come and saved him. And they couldn't recognise him because he was covered in black oil from the Bonnyventure from top to bottom. They took him days to get all this, and that's the way he was saved. But fancy coming in like that. It's bad, isn't it? Like they were saying in Marks and Spencer's, that woman shouldn't have come in and told you that, Vera. You would have been told proper by the Navy. I ain't been married very long to Sam then, and I mean, what a dreadful thing.
I think the most remarkable thing that's only occurred to me in adulthood is that it just seemed normal, which then gave me a great concern for children. For example, in Northern Ireland or any of the Middle East countries, because whatever's happening to them there must just seem normal, which is a rather frightening thought.
I mean, the fact that we walked to school picking up bits of shrapnel, putting them in my pocket and swapping them for cigarette cards at school was just all part of life. Even the fact that my father, in an unguarded moment, not knowing I was around, told my mother how he'd been walking along Sybil Street and seen a child's hand sticking out of the rubble and attempted to sort of do something about it and found it was only a hand and an arm. I mean, I just sort of took that in as part of the way things were when you were 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever it was. It's very strange. So, I mean, that's perhaps the most important part, that it just seemed normal.